happening to your car. It's aging. And over time, some of its 3,400 parts are going to wear out. When that happens, and it will, come to Canadian Tire. Why settle for the same parts that just wore out when you can replace them with guaranteed high-quality MotoMaster parts? We carry over 12,000 that meet or exceed original specifications for most every car. So if time is getting to your car, get to Canadian Tire. MotoMaster parts can help keep your car from acting its age.
For tonight's hockey game, 29-year-old Bill McCreary from Guelph, Ontario. In goal for the Montreal Canadiens from Edmonton, born right here, 29-year-old Doug Sotard in his 10th pro season. He played junior hockey for the Edmonton Oil Kings. And for the Oilers, it is Andy Moog, 25 years old from Penticton, BC. He has the second best save percentage in the NHL at .899%. Canadians will start with Walter at center, Gainey and McPhee. The Oilers will go with Messier, the former Canadian Napier, and Glenn Anderson. Third and final meeting of the season. Both teams have won a game as Mark Napier backhands it to Sotard. Larry Robinson ahead for Bob Gainey. He tipped it ahead to Ryan Walter with McPhee, who has the puck as he hits the Oilers line, takes the shot wide of the net. Anderson starting back for the Oilers. Lead pass for Napier went behind him, and Robinson dumps it to center. Napier waiting at the Canadian line, fires it into the corner for Anderson. He at the side of the net. Here's Messier in front for Napier. Robinson put it on Fogeland's stick, and his shot went wide of the Canadiens' goal. Lee Fogeland in his own zone, watched by Mark Hunter. The younger brother of the Oilers, Dave Hunter, as McPhee shoots it in. Napier to Mark Messier. He just flips it in on the backhand. Chris Chelios.
Canadians just content to take the puck, throw it in the zone, pick up their wings, run forechecker. I don't know if that can be successful all night against the Oilers.
Coffey is poke checked by Carbonneau. Then hit Gainey, but the Canadians' Carbonneau was trapped offside.
Well, Jacques Lemaire, in his second year as the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, played 12 years for Montreal. He played well enough to be elected to hockey's Hall of Fame. He started his coaching career in Switzerland, where he was a playing coach for a couple of seasons. Moved on to the University of Plattsburgh as an assistant. And he had such an excellent job coaching the Quebec Major Junior League that he was elevated to the Montreal Canadiens. A no-nonsense, very dedicated type of individual, and that's the way his hockey team is going to play.
Carbonneau to take the face-off against Billy Carroll. Carroll wins it to Randy Gregg. He's returning to the lineup after missing 3 more games with a sprained knee. Semenko was offside.
No, it was interesting to talk to the coaching staff, Glenn Sather, John Muckler, Teddy Green, and they were disappointed in the way the Oilers played against Washington. He said, it's one thing for the opposition to clog up the middle and to stop you coming out of the zone, but if they're going to give you the outside, please, fellas, take the outside. We'll watch tonight whether the Oilers staff has got them to listen to what they want them to do. Take the outside, play the corners.
Chris Chelios to Lucien Deblois, the former Winnipeg Jet. He was traded to the Canadiens for Perry Turnbull, Charlie Huddy. Move on Carbonneau as he shoots it in behind the Canadiens' net. Krushelnyski moving it along the boards. He took a check from Bob Gainey. Gretzky waiting behind the Montreal goal in front for Krushelnyski, and the pass was too high. Krushelnyski is pushed off the puck by Kerbers. Gretzky in the corner looking for Curry, but Chelios makes a fine play, and the Canadiens come back 2-on-1. Nyland with Gainey, but Nyland was checked from behind by Paul Coffey.
Very strong second effort by Paul Coffey that time to stop Chris Nyland, who has been hot as of late. Good feed pass by Carbonneau, and Nyland is pretty strong individual in fighting Coffey off. That was the best scoring opportunity for the Canadiens. The line of Guy Carbonneau, Bob Gainey, and Chris Nyland won 2 hockey games over the weekend. Nyland scored 2 on Saturday night, assisted on the overtime winner by Bob Gainey against the Islanders. They have beaten the Islanders twice in overtime this season. So a man that was picked 231st in the draft from Northeastern University, showing his wares.
And that was his 100th career point in the NHL, that assist on the Gainey goal in overtime. There's Willie Lindstrom down the right side. He was pushed off the puck by Bob Gainey. Svoboda, the 5th overall pick in last summer's draft, rolls it in behind the net for Serge Boisvert. He was in the Oilers organization last season, actually played in Moncton, and he was signed by the Canadiens as a free agent. Canadiens making changes as Jackson brings it out to Willie Lindstrom, who shoots it in behind the net. Robinson, the two-time Norris Trophy winner, swings away from Semenko. Carbonneau couldn't clear it against Jackson. Some good forechecking there by Dave Semenko. Svoboda to Bob Gainey. Now to Nyland, back in front for Gainey, and Jackson took it away. Went just wide of the Oiler net. Puck is centered. Krushelnyski had Gainey tied up, and Gretzky backhands it to the Canadiens line. Robinson missed Carbonneau at the pass. Back to touch it is Coffey, and it's icing against the Canadiens. Live from Northlands Coliseum, this is your Molson hockey telecast. 3 minutes and 4 seconds have been played in the first period. No score, just one shot so far, that by the Oilers.
It would appear that Montreal are very content that's not even going into the Oilers zone at all. They've got one forechecker, and they're pulling right back.
Mario Tremblay backhands it off the boards as the puck rolls down the ice. Coffey back to touch it, and it's icing Montreal once more.
Well, it's interesting the way that they've started out this hockey game. The man that perhaps does the most body checking for the Montreal Canadiens on the blue line, Craig Ludwig, had an outstanding career at University of North Dakota, where he played on 2 NCAA championship teams. He was only drafted in the 5th round. He actually won a job in training camp the first year that he joined the hockey club. Big, strong, likes to play it rough.
3 of the 6 regular Canadian defensemen were born in the United States. Ludwig from Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Ryan Walter and Kevin McClelland on the faceoff. Here's Chris Chelios. He's knocked down by McClelland. Now it's Mark Hunter for Montreal. Checked by Coffey at the Oilers line. Charlie Huddy has it. Hunter moves into forecheck. McPhee all alone in front. Backhand shot, scores!
When we get a chance to look at the replay, you will see the discipline of Mike McPhee, because he does not chase the puck. Great forechecking there by Hunter, Mark Hunter, that is. The puck will come right out to McPhee. There is no one, absolutely no one with him. Moog gets hard of the puck, and it just trickles in. The force of the puck just trickles over the line. Nobody is even close to Mike McPhee. Andy Moog actually made a great play on it, and it just trickled over the line. Assist going to Mark Hunter.
McPhee's 14th of the season from Mark Hunter at .334, and it's 1-0 Canadiens. McClellan slams Rick Green in on the board. Here's Pierre Mondu for Montreal. So Ludwig, he rolls it into the corner. Dave Hunter back there to get it. Paul Coffey misplayed it. Trombley, a backhand shot. Rebound. Another save by Moog off Mondu. Oilers sloppy in their own zone. Here's Green, a shot, and that's steered out of play by Andy Moog. Canadiens come close again. Mike McPhee with his 14th goal of the season. In fact, he has 9 goals in the Canadiens' last 14 games. He's played well. Here's Robinson in front for DeBlois. He got turned the wrong way, and Mark Messier has it for the Oilers with Napier and Anderson. Messier feeds it in on the left side for Anderson. Robinson rode him off the puck. Lowe pinching in from the point. Puck is in the corner. Lowe dumped it behind the net, and Svoboda has it. Icing waved off as Andy Moog leaves it for Mark Messier. Kevin Lowe. Napier tips it back to Fogelin. Now to Napier. Bobby Smith puts the grab on Napier, looking for Anderson in front, but Robinson dove to make a fine defensive play. And Boisvert comes back. Canadiens are 3-on-2. Drops it for Bobby Smith. A shot went off low wide of the net. Here's Robinson, a weak drive tip. They hit the goal post. The red light went on, but the referee McCreary was right there, and he has not indicated yet, Dave, but I don't think it's going to be a goal.
Well, he's conversing with the linesman back there. The goal judge is shaking his head, saying yes, that it went in. it would seem to me from the angle that it would be impossible to go in if it bounced back underneath Andy Moog. They're going to have a little bit of an argument, and I'm not sure if anybody was in real good position to see it. The face-off looks to me like it's going to go, yes, I think they're going to give him the credit of it. Let's have a look. Jacques Lemaire is interested. The shot will come off the boards, right onto the stick right there of Bobby Smith. Pokes it. I don't believe it goes in. In my opinion, it has to go completely over the line, and in that case, it did not. Now, we have a real good vantage point, Bruce, from where we are. In your opinion, did you think it went in?
No, I don't think it went in the net.
Let's have another look from here. We'll be high up on the angle. Just watch it hit the post. Right there. You can see it right there, not crossing the line entirely. Had it crossed the line because of the round post, it would have stayed in or turned around a little bit. So a good call by the officials at that particular time, not according to Jacques Lemaire, because this hockey club defensively would like to be up by 2.
Couldn't have come out on that angle, you're right. And there's several Canadian fans in attendance here tonight. Of course, the boos went up when it was announced that that wasn't a goal.
Well, which surprised me somewhat, that they got a very warm applause as they entered the ice for the start of the hockey game. But they're that kind of hockey club. Traditionally, they have been real good sports about their hockey in the years that they've played, and they've always been a class act.
Oilers have been sloppy in the early going. Canadians leading 1-0 on a goal by Mike McPhee. Randy Gregg tied up as he got to center. Boss Gainey looking for Carbonneau. He didn't see the pass coming, but steers it inside Oiler territory. Randy Gregg with the puck to Wayne Gretzky. 170 points coming into tonight's action. Curry is set up at the line by Curvers, fights him off and got a weak shot away. Stick save by Sotard. Carbonneau rolls it out the center.
Only the second shot on goaltender Doug Sotard, who played well against the Islanders, but he did not play well against Winnipeg.
Here's Tom Curvers, drops it for Chris Nilan. He overskated the puck. Jackson got a piece of him. Gretzky can't handle the pass. Goes in after Chelios, steals it from him, drops it for Curry. And that went off Gainey's stick. Charlie Huddy with a Serge Savard spinorama near that Montreal line. Paul Coffey. Here's Gretzky. Got a weak shot away. Sotard grabs it with Krushelnyski right there.
The best offense appeared by the Oilers. If we look at Gary Curry, 59 goals on the year, certainly has a good chance of surpassing the all-time goals for a right winger, Mike Bossy, 69. I still think that he'll be in the high 70s before the season's over. A little bit of a skirmish along the boards. Nothing will come of that. Gretzky getting involved. He was slashed by Chelios as he went to take that shot on goaltender Sotard. That's why the puck just kind of trickled into Sotard.
Skirmish is broken up. Mike Krushelnyski.
Krushelnyski is a nice guy to have there when the skirmish is breaking out.
Best ever season as a pro hockey player. Rick Green turns away from Semenko. Ludwig looking for Boisvert. It's kept in by Lindstrom, who hit Boisvert. Puck slides to center. Canadians 2-on-1. Boisvert with Deblois. Deblois tried to get it back to Boisvert, and the puck went right to Andy Moog. Now Deblois behind the net to Boisvert. Back for Deblois. He and Boisvert playing tic-tac-toe, and finally Paul Coffey has the puck. Long lead pass for Willie Lindstrom goes right to Sotard, and he takes no chances. Dave Semenko right there.
Well, Rick Green was the first ever player selected in 1976 by Washington. He's in his 9th NHL season. Would you believe that he's missed an average of 21 games a season? Only played 7 last year, suffering a broken hand and coming back to play and re-injuring that hand. He's only missed 3 this year, so this may be the year that he's going to get the most games in.
One of the bigger players in the NHL at 220 pounds, Rick Green.
Not flashy, Bruce, but he gets the job done in front of the net.
Ryan Walter and Wayne Gretzky to the right of Doug Sotard. It's 1-0 Canadians. They've outshot the Oilers 6-3. Like Glenn Sadas is trying to match up lines at this point.
Yeah, he's starting to move Gretzky's line around. Montreal counter by making a change immediately. He wants to have Carbonneau on Gretzky, and I don't blame him.
Curry to Paul Coffey, winding up. The shot went off Robinson's stick, weakly to Sotard. Svoboda failed to clear it. Carbonneau will. Nice lead pass to Gainey, who's got a break. Scores!
mentioned Bob Gainey at the start of the hockey game that he's been getting a few loose pucks and he's been putting them in. Nothing fancy right here. Coming in, taking the bouncing puck and just shooting it in the 5-hole on goaltender Andy Moog. A big goal for Montreal because that was coming against the flow of play. Edmonton starting to do something offensively. For Gainey, his third goal in as many games.
Gainey, 16th of the season from Guy Carbonneau at 7:08. It's 2-0 Montreal, and I don't think Andy Moog will be all that happy with himself because Gainey was kind of forced to take that shot to the short side.
Well, the fact that he lost control of the puck and it bounced a little bit was the reason that Andy Moog wasn't able to stop it.
Rick Green to Mike McPhee. He has a Canadiens goal tonight. Drops it back for Walter to McPhee. A shot, and Andy Moog just got a piece of that on a good play by the Canadiens in Oilers territory. Here's McPhee again, checked by Lowe. Puck out at center to Ludwig to Rick Green. Dave Hunter and Pat Hughes up checking for the Oilers. Hunter didn't see that pass coming, and it's Lowe at his own line. Across to Lee Fogelin. Pat Hughes to Kevin McClellan. His shot gloved by Sotard, and he'll hang on with McClellan, who ends up right on top of the Montreal goal, but the puck didn't go in. Chris Buchanan with Dave Richardson and Tim Spellacy from the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. It's the Canadiens 2 and the Oilers nothing. Canadian goals by McPhee and Gainey. Mario Tremblay failed to clear it against Jackson Green behind the net for Matt Naslund. Puck in the corner for Napier to Messier. Anderson goes for the front of the net. Here's Messier trying to cut in front. Napier was waiting off the side of the net, has to go along the boards after it, and he was hammered by Matt Naslund. Randy Gregg being watched by Mondeau. Pierre Mondeau needs just 1 point for 450 in his career. There's a shot by Tremblay right to Andy Moog. He hands it off to Don Jackson. Canadians have been pouncing on that loose puck in Oiler territory. Mark Napier. Weakly to Ludwig for Mario Tremblay. He chops it back to Rick Green. Now to Matt Naslund. Came to the NHL All-Rookie team in 1983. Cleared it into the corner. Paul Coffey has it. Around the boards for Lindstrom. Kerber's pinching in. Here's Messier after the puck, but DeBlois beat him to it. Paul Coffey with Dave Semenko. Coffey was stood up at the line by DeBlois, and the Canadiens were standing 4 abreast at the blue line.
They make sure that they have 4 men back there, and they take somebody all the time. There's no loose pucks falling on an Oilers stick.
Semenko got a piece of Bobby Smith, but also Kevin Lowe, who was just coming off the bench. And Lowe, or rather Semenko, is really throwing his weight around. Here's Lowe moving in to Lindstrom. A shot! Sotard, a big save. Lindstrom knocks Kerbers off the puck. Semenko knocks Kerbers down. Still has the puck. Dave Semenko's getting an ovation from the fans at the Northlands Coliseum. There's Chelios, checked by Lindstrom. Good forechecking by this Oilers fourth line. DeBlois ridden off the puck by Semenko. Charlie Huddy kept it in. What pressure by this Oiler line.
Well, finally, they're starting to take the man out of the play, getting involved emotionally a little bit more.
Chris Chelios. This DeBlois center is blocked away by Charlie Huddy. Now to Billy Carroll. Krushelnyski on the ice with Curry. Carroll's shot goes wide. Curry centers it. And it went over Krushelnyski's stick. Fogelin for the Oilers as the pace picks up. Oilers looking for their first goal past the midway mark of the first period. It's 2-0 Montreal. Krushelnyski to Curry. Back to Fogelin. Gretzky cruising behind the net. Fogelin's shot went wide. Kevin Lowe trying to keep it in. He couldn't as Mario Tremblay slides it out for Montreal. Mike Krushelnyski. It for Curry. Puck is loose, but Krushelnyski couldn't get a stick on it. Nyland to Bob Gainey. 1-on-1 against Fogelin. Drops it back. And Svoboda was poke checked by Yari Curry. Larry Robinson feeding it on the right side. No Canadian there. Puck goes right to Andy Moog. Randy Gregg to Gretzky. Gets away from Carbonneau. Goes wide on Svoboda. Now here's Gregg moving in. His shot, high and wide. Puck comes out the other side, and the Canadiens take over. E. Carbonell at Gainey and Nyland. And the Canadiens were offside. Well, it's 2-0 Canadiens, but we've had our best action of the night in the last couple of minutes.
I took to the line of Billy Carroll, Willie Lindstrom, and Dave Semenko to start it. Perhaps that's what they have to do, Bruce. Just take the man a little bit more. Montreal might feel a little different about the hockey game.
Randy Gregg for the Oilers to Mark Napier. He got around Deblois, but Ludwig dumped it out to center. Don Jackson to Randy Gregg. His pass too high on the left side for Anderson. Rick Green is back to get it, and it's facing Oilers. When Anderson complaining.
Randy Gregg returns to the lineup after sitting out a couple after missing a whole slew of hockey games, 17 to be exact. Suffered an injury on January the 6th right here in the Coliseum against the Winnipeg Jets. He's a steadying influence on that blue line. Oddly enough, he played his first 2 years. He played all 80 games, and this year, the injury bug.
And it was driving him nuts sitting in the press box. I talked to him the other night. He says, I can't stand it up here. I'd rather be sitting at home or something. Must be tough on those hockey players sitting up here and wishing they were down on the ice helping out their teammates.
You're right.
To Glenn Anderson, Messier and Napier with him. In fact, Napier has a 5-game point streak in which he has scored 9 points. Gregg knocked Walter off the puck. Here's Mark Hunter at center. Jackson cut him off, and Messier has it. 4 Canadians back at the blue line as Messier carries it across. They're all flocking to the middle, as John Muckler, the assistant coach of the Oilers, said they would. Tom Kerbers to Ryan Walter, down to McPhee. He pokes it into the corner and goes around Randy Gregg. Takes a check from Gregg, but fights him off. Hands it off to Hunter. Walter jumped in front, and a penalty coming up to the Oilers, the first of the hockey game. McPhee, a weak shot. Stick save by Moog, and the Oilers will be getting a penalty. You're watching the Oilers live on ITV. Well, the first penalty of the hockey game to the Oilers, Billy Carroll for interference at 12:35. So the Canadiens leading 2-0 go on the power play.
And they have a very good power play. They're 5th overall in the National Hockey League at 23.8%. They have 2 key men on this power play. Mario Tremblay with 13 and Ryan Walter with 10. Walter standing in front of the net on most penalty situations.
And the face-off was at center because the player coming on the ice to replace Sotar's left too early. Now the Canadians shoot it in. Mondu behind the net. Moog stops it for Fogelin. High off the glass for Gretzky, who knocks it down. Svoboda didn't know where it was, and it's Curry. Oilers with 21 shorthanded goals, but they haven't scored a shorthanded goal for a couple of weeks, so they're due.
And that would be a big boost to them right now. If they were to get a shorthanded goal, that would change the morale on this team right now, being down 2-0.
Naslund, Mondu, and Tremblay up front with Robinson and Svoboda on defense for Montreal. Robinson slowly to center. 1:15 in the penalty to Billy Carroll. Mondu makes a nice move on Kevin Lowe. Now to Tremblay to Matt Naslund. Back to Robinson. The slap shot. Pad saved by Moog, and he covers up on the rebound with Svoboda looking for it.
Nice position for Andy Moog that time. 2 or 3 feet in front of the crease. Robinson will get the puck. It'll go off a stick right here. Right there. Look at the Moog still standing, holding his ground. And you know, you could see right from behind the net the clear traffic, the clear path he had to see the shot. So a fine job being done by the Edmonton Oilers defense to keeping the front clear.
101 in the penalty to Billy Carroll. Face-off will be to the left of Andy Moog. Canadians have Smith, Deblois, and Hunter with Kerbers and Chelios now. Messier wins the face-off to Gretzky. Messier is trailing Gretzky. Couldn't pick up the pass. Hunter to Deblois. Deblois missed 27 games this year with a stomach pull as Mark Hunter was offside. Mark went for dinner last night with his brother Dave, as they usually do when the two teams get together.
Deblois having his finest hour in the National Hockey League last year with Winnipeg. 35 goals, 44 assists, 79 points. He was the captain of the Winnipeg Jets. His reward for the fine season, shuffle off to Montreal in the trade for Perry Turnbull. He has not played well for the Canadiens. Besides the injury, he still has not played that well for them.
Bobby Smith, the former #1 pick of the Minnesota North Stars, drops it back. In fact, He was involved in that trade that sent Mark Napier to Minnesota. Napier now a member of the Oilers as Smith has the puck behind the Oiler net. Looking for Hunter and Deblois in front. Chelios back to Smith. To Kerber. To Chelios. His shot went off Hughes' stick wide. Hunter across to Deblois. Now to Chelios. The slap shot tipped just wide by Hunter. Chelios across to Deblois. His shot off Huddy's stick and out of play. 4 seconds in the penalty to Carroll.
Well, the Canadiens doing a fine job of controlling the play in the zone. They had Charlie Huddy and Paul Coffey out there that time. Huddy and Coffey, good thing, because with their skating strength, they were able to get into position quickly after the puck was moving around.
Pat Hughes, who also played some hockey with the Montreal Canadiens, going to the Oilers bench.
Hughes, the type of hockey player that Montreal are using this year in their system. Up, along the board, got to hold on to that puck. Don't throw it away. Turnovers are very, very costly. Something Montreal haven't done tonight, and that's why they're full credit for the 2-0 lead.
They outshot the Oilers 12-5. Here's Svoboda winding up his shot. Hit Ryan Walter, who goes after it in the corner. Hooked off his stick by Randy Gregg. Oilers back at full strength. Messier with Carroll and Gretzky, the 3 centers on the ice. I wonder if they're going to know where to go out there.
They don't want to play in the middle.
Ryan Walter to Svoboda. Mike McPhee is trailing. Svoboda just dumps it in behind the net. Puck ends up in the corner. Krushelnyski left it for Messier. Gretzky, the other Oiler forward. Krushelnyski with Gretzky. Curry is now on the ice for the Oilers. Gretzky tried to drop it to him. It hit Gainey's skate. Carbonneau flips it out on the backhand. And the puck goes out of play. 4:49 remaining first period. 2-0 Montreal. Face off to the left of Doug Sotard. He was in the net when the Canadiens won their hockey game here in Edmonton this year 4-2. He's in there again tonight because of an injury to Steve Penny. Gretzky tried to center it. It hit Chelios. Curry dug it loose. But by then, the whistle had gone. Bruce Buchanan with Dave Richardson as Curry's shot goes wide. Canadiens leading 2-0. Carbonneau to Bob Gainey. He has one of the Montreal goals. Nyland is trailing as Gainey stops against Fogelin. Carbonneau couldn't pick up the pass. Either can Chelios, and the Oilers start back. Gretzky, a fine move on Carbonneau. He's got Jari Kurri trailing. Kurri has the puck. Shoots! And a blocker saved by Sotard on that drive from Kurri.
There's one of the turnovers right there by the Oilers, having no one to pass it through, just hoping that someone will be there. Falls on a stick of the Montreal Canadiens.
Gretzky fires it around the boards for Krushelnyski. He kicks it behind the Canadiens' net. Berbers has it to Chris Nyland. He just slides it inside the Oilers zone. Paul Coffey leading the rush to Gretzky. In on the left side for Dave Hunter. He and Rick Green go after it. Good collision behind the net. Hughes has the puck in the corner. Puck rolling in front. Mario Tremblay for Montreal. Mondu trying to use his great speed against Coffey. Tremblay shot and rolling to make the save with Andy Moe.
Well, 11-year veteran Mario Tremblay picking up a loose puck, getting some good wood on it this time. Huddy plays him well to the outside, but you have to be impressed with Moe in the last 2 or 3 shots that have been taking place. He's well up on the play, has complete control of that area. You know, can the Montreal Canadiens sit on this 2-0 lead?
Likely not. Mario Tremblay has 13 power play goals this season. He's had a pretty good year for the Canadiens. A good road player. McPhee in the corner. To Hunter looking for Walter out front. He'll try it again. He and Huddy battle, and finally Messier has the puck. And we've got penalties coming up behind the play, or at least a penalty.
I think both of them will go off for interference or roughing, more than likely. Mark Messier, one of the hockey players here that can maybe turn things around for Edmonton. With his outside speed, Bruce, as we look at the replay of the allocation in the corner, Messier will take the puck right out of the corner and skate away with it right here. Watch him pull away, and there's a little extra tap on Mark Hunter in the corner, so they will both go off. And play 4-on-4 right now. This should be an advantage to Edmonton with Messier and Glenn Anderson out there.
So Hunter and Huddy in the penalty box. Teams will go 5 aside. 3:12 remaining first period, and it's 2-0 Montreal. Bob Gainey won the Sochi Trophy 3 years in a row as best defensive forward from 78 to 81. He's a good player to have on the ice in this situation. Craig Ludwig for the Canadiens. Out to Gainey. He tips it back for Guy Carbonneau. Skates away from Anderson and dropped it back to center for Rick Green. Ludwig to Green. Canadiens making changes up front. DeBlois on the ice now along with Carbonneau. Carbonneau looking for DeBlois. One-on-one against Jackson. Carbonneau trying to catch up. DeBlois shot and a glove save by Andy Lowe. May have been over top of the net, but a good glove save nonetheless.
He looked sharp making it.
Gretzky missed Anderson with the pass. Oilers make changes. Curry now on the ice with Gretzky. Svoboda for Montreal. The slap shot and a blocker save by Mose.
Well, the Canadiens out shooting the Oilers 14-6 with 2 minutes to go in the period.
4 Canadians were waiting at center as Curry takes it across the line. In for Kevin Lowe. Pass was too far ahead. Lowe after it in the corner. Curry also in there for the Oilers. Smith put it on Gretzky's stick. Takes it behind the net. Watched by Robinson. Now here's Vogelin. His shot, and that hits Svoboda. Curry at the side of the net. Vogelin has the puck. To Curry behind the net. Now to Gretzky. 5-on-5 situation. Curry in the corner across for Vogelin. And now was blocked by Svoboda, who may have been hurt. Skip here shaken up as he goes to the Canadiens bench. Bobby Smith a shot. That goes wide. Gretzky with Willie Lindstrom. Gretzky stopping. Waiting for help. Feeds it back to Randy Gregg. Back for Gretzky off Smith's skate to the corner. Gretzky to Willie Lindstrom. Puck is against the boards, and the Canadiens force a face-off.
Well, a better shift that time by Wayne Gretzky and his linemen. They were a little more patient in holding on to the puck and looking for that late man coming into the zone, and you saw Wayne Gretzky go into the corner, make a little bob and a weave, and watch him dump it back there to Randy Gregg. That's the thing that they're going to have to do. Look at the Montreal Canadiens following the puck around. Randy Gregg will come into the play, and he's really all alone. He just mishandles it just a little bit right here in looking for Willie Lindstrom to the side of the net. Right there, you see Willie being taken by the Canadian. So a better shift for Wayne and his line mates that time, showing a little more patience and a little more discipline, something that John Muckler said that they would have to do tonight.
Curry needs just one more point to surpass his career best. He comes into tonight's hockey game with 113. Quite a year for Yari Curry, and Wayne Gretzky almost expects him to be around that 200 mark every year.
200 sounds easy for anyone.
Randy Gregg to Billy Carroll. Right to Sotard, and he'll hang on with Willie Lindstrom speeding in. Less than a minute remaining first period.
Nothing fancy with the Canadians behind the blue line. Just make sure that you tie somebody up. Doug Sotard, we look at him, played in that overtime victory against the Islanders. He was pulled after 2 periods on Saturday night against Winnipeg. He only had 11 shots, and they had 4 goals on him. So Jacques Lemaire not afraid to move a player around if he's not doing the job.
Billy Carroll and Ryan Walter to the left of Sotard. Walter winning the draw. Tom Kerber to Walter. And the Canadiens start out. Now to Chris Chelios, Montreal's representative in the All-Star game. Chelios thought there should have been more. Here's Walter in the corner. He hit Billy Carroll. Lindstrom looking for Stemeko, and McPhee intercepted. Kerber's to Chelios. 30 seconds remaining first period. Kerber's to Mario Tremblay. He stops at center. Now to Matt Naslund. Leading scorer on the Canadiens shoots it in behind the net. Charlie Huddy has it. To Don Jackson. Billy Carroll for the Oilers. He shoots it in. Sotard stops it for Rick Green. 8 seconds in the period. Tremblay to Mondu. Charlie Huddy just beat him to it, or the Canadiens would have had a 2-on-1 as the first period comes to an end.
Well, a very fine played period by the Montreal Canadiens. They were very disciplined in what they did with the puck. And when they didn't have the puck, I think that was more of a key to their 2-0 lead right now. They're not foolish in throwing it away. They have not had any turnovers on their part, yet they have forced the Oilers with a number of turnovers. That'll have to change come the second period as far as Edmonton is concerned.
The score after one period, the Canadiens 2 and the Oilers nothing.
And now the home hardware summary for tonight's first period at Northlands Coliseum. 2 goals, both for the Montreal Canadiens. Mike McPhee at 3:34, his 14th goal of the year. And then at 7:08, Canadiens captain Bob Gainey with his 16th. The shots on goal in the first period by the Montreal Canadiens, 14. By the Edmonton Oilers, 7.
Dave, I thought the Canadiens stuck pretty much to their game plan in the first period, and it worked rather well for them.
They certainly did. They're a very disciplined hockey team. You remember Michel Bergeron from Quebec saying, when you come into this building, you almost have to play a near-perfect hockey game. Well, I guess you can say that the Montreal Canadiens have been near-perfect in that first period. They had 14 shots in the goaltender, 5 of those shots coming from their own blue line. And then they're doing the job defensively, not letting the Oilers get that second shot at goaltender Doug Sotar.
What are the Oilers going to have to do to take away from all that clogging up the middle the Canadiens are doing?
Well, the consensus along Media Row and all the people up here is, for goodness sake, shoot it in, go and get it, and on the way, bang some people when you're doing it. Now they'll maybe have some turnovers, and you'll get some scoring opportunities.
The Oilers' fourth line did a good job of that in the first period. Carroll, who Tim Spelosy talked to in the first intermission, Willie Lindstrom and Dave Semenko, they banged some bodies around and created some opportunities. So we're going to have to look for the Oilers to take the man a little more.
Well, I don't expect Curry and Gretzky to go in there and bang people, but certainly Big Mike on the left side can do it.
And, of course, Messier and Anderson with their great speed, but the Oilers have been down before, and they know they can come back. But it's an interesting challenge tonight against a good defensive hockey club in the Montreal Canadiens. There's a look at Mark Messier beginning to get back into shape, he feels. Messier playing pretty well as of late, with 8 points in his last 5 hockey games, and he's a key member of the club. Messier and Walter facing on to start the second period. Rick Green clears it to center. Low for Anderson. Split off his stick, and Green sends Hunter away. Now to Ryan Walter. He was poke checked by Kevin Lowe. Mark Messier with the puck. For Glenn Anderson. He'll go after it on the right side. Ludwig beats him to it. It's icing Oilers, and Anderson took a run at Ludwig, who just turns his head and skates away.
That would appear that would be the game plan for the Oilers. Anderson coming right in there and taking the body rather hard that time. Anderson, I think, at the start of the year, I believe, had a good chance to break Steve Shutt's record of 60 goals from the left winger. Well, the injury and the suspension to Messier certainly cut into his plans, but perhaps the best complete left winger in the league this year. Glenn probably had a lot of good words to say to his hockey team. They were a little more excited as they came out.
Ludwig, a slap shot, and that snapped up by Andy Moog. I don't know how he even saw it with all that traffic in front, but he hangs on, and now we've got some unpleasantries between Messier and, it appears, Ryan Walter. Mark Hunter also in the middle of things. Glenn Anderson, who you were talking about, Dave, with 35 goals coming into tonight's hockey game, he still has a shot at 50.
Oh, yeah, I'd have an excellent chance at 50. You know, the job that LaPerriere and the rest of the Canadiens. LaPerriere played in the National Hockey League as a defenseman. He was not that great of a skater, so he had to take the man, and he had to do it effectively. That's what a lot of the rest of the Canadiens have been taught by LaPerriere.
Kevin Lowe with possession for the Oilers. Tremblay forechecking it, stepped in by Mondu. 2 Canadians break for the net. Tremblay picks it up in the corner. Good check by Kevin Lowe on Pierre Mondu. Matt Naslund to Tom Kerber. His shot off the stick of Messier. Naslund follows up. There's the shot by Mondu. He scores!
Well, the Canadians very, very persistent on the puck. The shot is directed from the blue line, and as things happen, falls right onto the stick of Naslund. It hits Mondu in the leg, and Moog is actually going to play Mario Tremblay for the puck because that's where the puck was intended to go. Watch him play the man who's going to get the puck, or supposedly would get it. But because it hits Mondu's foot, it falls on his stick, and bang, Mondu gets a point. The point for Mondu is his 450th, and that makes him the 20th Montreal Canadien to reach that lofty plateau.
Mondu's 16th of the season from Naslund and Kerbers at the 48-second mark, and it's 3-0 Montreal. Bob Gainey left the puck for Don Jackson. And Peters Svoboda drew an assist on the second Canadian goal. That's been added. McClellan to Hunter, a shot, hit, they score! Pat Hughes, no, it's waved off by referee McCreary ruling it was touched by a high stick.
And Pat Hughes, if you're looking at him right there, he kind of knows that he touched it with a high stick. There's McCreary going to make the announcement to the PA man up here. The Oilers are not complaining. They could see the play right here. Watch it come up there, and he'll get the stick above the shoulders as it goes off a Montreal Canadian stick. Right, I'm not too sure now as I see the replay because he does take the stick over the shoulder, but as he hits it, the puck is a little bit lower.
Well, Hughes didn't complain too much. Hunter spun around, still got it in front. It's Don Jackson to Dave Hunter. And he backhands it to center. Mike McPhee for the Canadiens, who lead it 3-0, minute and a half gone in this second period. Randy Gregg. Pass too high for Hughes, goes right to Sotar. He leaves it for Peters Svoboda. Swinging away from Hughes. They're out there doing some banging, Hunter and Hughes. Gregg for Kevin McClellan. Robinson fights him off, carries across the line, takes the shot. Off the stick against Pat Hughes, but still does an effective job of keeping it in. Gainey shooting it in behind the net. Don Jackson watched by Chris Nyland. Pat Hughes dumps it ahead for Hunter. Oilers making wholesale changes. Rick Green looking for Nyland, called on the two-line offside pass. Live from Northland Coliseum, this is your Molson hockey telecast. 16 seconds have been played in the second period. Pierre Mondu scored at the 48-second mark, and it's 3-0 Montreal. All Coffee with a 10-game point streak heading into tonight's hockey game. Gainey, Miss Carbonneau on the left side. Good back-checking by Yari Curry. Coffee got ahead of steam, then stops, gives it to Curry to Gretzky. Tips it into the corner. Charlie Huddy moved in for an instant, then headed back to his blue line position. Chris Nyland took a check from Krushelnyski. Here's Curry, a shot, rebound, Gretzky. What a save by Sotar as he just got his stick on it. It appeared Gretzky at the wide open net. Carbonneau to Bob Gainey. It's Coffee. That was the Oilers' best scoring chance of the hockey game, and who better to have it than Wayne Gretzky? Yari Curry for the Oilers. To Krushelnyski. The Oilers will have to open things up, trailing 3-0, but it won't be easy to do against the disciplined Montreal team. Here's Mario Tremblay. Stops against Coffee. Drops it back for Rick Green, and he wasn't able to keep it onside.
But you saw Tremblay that time when he had nobody to pass the puck to stop and not throw the puck away. The best scoring opportunity for the Oilers by 99, Wayne Gretzky. The shot was originally taken by Yari Curry. It comes out to Gretzky. Watch the shot. Watch it come out. Now watch the stick of Doug Sotar go up in the air. Now you be the judge. Is he putting his stick up there, or is he falling down and looking for balance? Give him credit. He made the stop, and that's all you have to say, Doug. They don't say how. They say, how many did you let in?
And Doug needs a new stick, but that last one certainly saved the goal for him.
Did you see him shake his hand that time? Oh, I don't know if I stopped it or not.
He's got some friends here tonight. A couple of friends down at practice to see Doug Sotar this morning.
A lot of Doug's family still reside in the Edmonton area. Doug comes home in the summer for about 6 weeks every summer to spend some time back here.
Lee Fogel and Miss Willie Lindstrom. Tom Kerbers. To Mario Tremblay out on the left side for Matt Naslund. Off his stick, Fogelin banks it off the boards for Billy Carroll. Interesting to hear Billy talk in the first intermission. He figures the New York Islanders will come out of the Wales Conference.
Well, I still think they have the better overall talent, the Islanders. If they put it all together, they get all their injured players back.
Vogelin, all kinds of trouble clearing it. Now Willie Lindstrom finally has it. He was checked by Tom Kurbers, who won the Hobie Baker Trophy while playing at Minnesota Duluth last season. That's the most valuable player in college hockey. He's a good one. Billy Carroll. Pass was too far ahead for Lindstrom. Bobby Smith to Tremblay. He lost the glove, but still got it in inside the Oilers zone. Randy Gregg to Billy Carroll. Don Jackson way up the ice. Backhanded in by Anderson right to Svoboda. Oilers couldn't keep it in. Jackson waiting. Feeds it to Carroll. Now to Glenn Anderson. In on that left side, he was poke checked by Chris Chelios. He loses it almost to Lindstrom, who flattened Svoboda in front. Lucien Deblois cut off by Messier. Gregg's pass bounced over Anderson's stick, and it's Larry Robinson with possession. Been on the NHL first All-Star team a couple of times. Big Larry.
3 times on the first team, 2 times on the second team. 34 years of age, 13th season.
Lucien Deblois to Pierre Mondu. Takes the shot off Gregg wide of the net. Mondu into the corner after it, trying to turn away from Randy Gregg. Deblois picks it up. Tremblay cruising in as Messier hammered Deblois. Deblois steals it. Here's Mondu, a bad angle shot. And went right across the crease. Anderson to Mark Messier with Napier. Messier going wide on Svoboda. Still has it. Now centers it. But Robinson is there for Montreal. Have the Canadiens done a job in their own zone tonight? Svoboda unable to clear it. Mark Napier to Messier. Back off the boards for Napier. Tremblay pokes it behind the net for Robinson. He just shoots it to center.
Every opportunity there's a loose puck, it seems to be on a red sweater. They just persistent as they hound the puck. Very persistent, very disciplined in their way. Watch Hunter take a man there.
Paul Coffey gathering speed as he swings away from Hunter. This can be pretty to watch. Coffey was poke checked, however, by Ludwig. Canadians Mark Hunter against Huddy and McClellan. He falls. Huddy got a piece of him along the boards, and they tie it up for a faceoff. Pierre Mondu has scored in the second. It's 3-0 Montreal. 13:45, the time remaining in the second period. Face-off to the right of Moog between Smith and Krushelnyski.
And the Oilers have still only been able to direct 10 shots at goaltender Doug Sotar. They're not going to win many hockey games with 10 shots.
Wayne Gretzky with the best shot of the night as Sotar robbed him in the second period. Yari Curry to Gretzky, rolls it in front. Krushelnyski was coming in late. The Canadiens just fire at the length of the ice, and it's icing.
Not having anything to do with it, he just shot it down the ice. Coffey could be the man that would be a key figure in this offense because he's the late man coming into the play. Take the puck, dump it in, go and get possession, and look for the late man coming in. Paul Coffey looking to increase that total you see on the screen.
Well, he has 88 points. Last year, he scored 126, and he's right on the mark again this year. Has the same total he had last year to this point.
He needs 1 assist for 300 NHL assists. You saw that he played 377 games, so pretty good offensive stats for Paul Coffey. Guy Carbonneau, as a rookie 2 years ago, scored 5 shorthanded goals. He was the one reason that they traded Danny Daoust to Toronto Maple Leafs. Plays much like Jacques Lemaire when Lemaire played, Bruce. Very good with the puck, not too offensive-minded, just as soon make a good defensive play.
Kind of an unsung hero, really. He was the Molson Cup winner in Montreal last season.
So, you know, the fans in Montreal appreciate a fine defensive play.
Paul Coffey. To Yari Curry, back to Coffey, who'll get involved in the offensive flow. The slap shot, rebound! Krushelnyski's shot is steered away by Sotar. Puck in front, Curry couldn't pick it up, and Huddy's back to get it at center. Canadians are looking for that quick break if they can get it with the Oilers going in deep as Sotar covers up. 12:45 left, Oilers still looking for their first goal. Hi, Bruce Buchanan with Dave Richardson and Tim Spellacy from the Northlands Coliseum. It's the Canadiens 3 and the Oilers nothing. Krushelnyski couldn't get a shot off the faceoff. Larry Robinson. To Guy Carbonneau with Mario Tremblay. Poke check by Coffey, and it bounces into the crowd.
Well, the Canadiens on the first of a 4-game road trip. Wayne Gretzky still looking for his first point of the night, as of any of the Oilers looking for their first point. Wayne has that keen sense of have patience. He knows that this game is going to be over in 60 minutes, and there's still half a hockey game to go. And you watch him play, he's not going to rush and force the play. He'll hang on to it.
Canadians respect the Oilers' offense, and they know they can erupt at any point.
Look at this. No forechecker at all. No forechecker at all. All three of them right all the way back.
Charlie Huddy to Krushelnyski. Ran into Matt Naslund, who fell, but the Canadians gained possession. Svoboda ices it.
Once again, nobody went into forecheck. Just turned around and picked up somebody. That's amazing. I've not seen this year in the National Hockey League.
Curry steals the puck, but fell as he saw Svoboda coming. Here's Matt Naslund. Return pass from Mondu to Tremblay in the corner. Krushelnyski knocked it to Coffey, put it on Mondu's stick in the corner. Back to Naslund, centered for Tremblay. Krushelnyski knocks it down, and Naslund has it in the corner. Upended by Krushelnyski, who takes it away from him. Pass was too high for Yari Curry. Svoboda for Montreal dumps it right back in, and the Canadians make changes. Serge Boisvert on one of his rare shifts for Montreal. Coffey looking for Curry. That was tipped away by Bobby Smith to Deblois to Boisvert. Back to Deblois, shoots wide of the net. Remember that far corner.
They've got the Oilers pinned in their zone.
Boisvert. Set it across for Deblois. That was broken up. Pat Hughes to Krushelnyski. And Bobby Smith wheels away with it. Just dumps it in. Canadians are content to do that, leading 3-0. Kevin McClellan to Kevin Lowe. Good move on Mark Hunter. Now to Dave Hunter. Takes the weak shot right to Sotard, and he hangs on with Kevin McClellan there. There's a player on the Oilers that can stir things up. It is Kevin McClellan, and he and Mike McPhee were doing some chattering there.
Well, that's something that the Oilers are going to have to do. They're going to have to demoralize the Montreal Canadiens, and they have to do it one way or the other, be it not getting a goal, but maybe getting a little bit more physical, and to change the turn of events in this hockey game, to change the momentum.
Robinson for McPhee. Pinching in with Fogelin. Hughes in the corner. And it's Green behind the net. Two Oilers moved in. Hunter and McClellan to sandwich Rick Green, and whistle down.
But you notice the discipline in Montreal. They didn't retaliate, didn't do anything. They give him a pretty good whack behind the net, and watch Rick Green come off them smash. Now, usually when your body checked against the boards, it doesn't hurt very much. Usually when you get hit in the center ice area, that's when you catch the hard body checks. But he just came out there and was very content to take the hit, go sit down on the bench and say, fine, we're winning 3-0, and that's what you have to do to win. That's what we'll do.
All the Canadians leading the Adams division with 72 points. Buffalo playing tonight. They're 2 points behind them, but we saw the Sabres were trailing. Hunter for McPhee. Rolled off his stick, and it's Pat Hughes dropping it back to Lee Fogelin. Nearing the midway mark of the second period, it's 3-0 Canadians. Kevin McClellan to Dave Hunter. Takes it off his skate. Robinson checked him off the puck. Kevin Lowe ran into Mark Hunter. Becoming a little more physical now. McPhee got a stick up on McClellan, but he's all right. Leaves it for Hughes. His shot wide of the net. Lowe in from the point. Took a slash from Mark Hunter. Into the corner. McClellan has it. Trying to drop it back for Dave Hunter, but McPhee did some fine back-checking for Montreal. Here's Mark Hunter against Lee Fogelin. Just dumped it in. And once again, the Canadians change on the fly. Kevin Lowe to Dave Hunter. Now to Billy Carroll. Back for Hunter. Takes the shot. Stick save by Sotard. Robinson spins away from Billy Carroll. Tom Kerbers. Rink-wide pass to Mario Tremblay. Robinson return pass to Tremblay. He upends Willie Lindstrom by the Canadiens bench. Canadians have only had one penalty tonight, but that was a coincidental minor in the first period.
Well, the Oilers getting a lot more physical, but they still can't get the puck off the Canadiens.
Tremblay, poke check by Don Jackson. Dave Semenko. Lost it to Naslund.
There's the contrast between Semenko and Naslund. 5'7", 6'3".
Just flung him off the puck. Semenko mixes it up with Chelios. Now goes after Tremblay. And you're right, Dave. The Canadiens are showing great discipline.
Well, they have patience. They're not going to get involved in a fisticuff with this hockey team. They know that they can't take them physically, so they have to do and play the way they can.
Don Jackson shoots it in. And the Oilers make changes. Napier, Messier, and Anderson on the ice. Bobby Smith. And Canadiens are offside. You're watching the Oilers on ITV.
Let's have a look at David and Goliath. This time David being Matt Naslund right there. Get away from that puck, youngster. That's mine. He took it right off him.
Svenko's been pretty effective when used tonight by Glenn Sather. Coffey looking for that lead pass for Messier, but the Canadiens broke it up once again. Weber knocked Cuddy off the puck. Messier behind the net. To Mark Napier. Now to Paul Coffey with Glenn Anderson. Messier flying down the right side. Oilers are offside.
Still not throwing the puck in. You saw them that time make the pass, but the Canadiens were standing up at the line and not getting in that zone. So either you're flying into the zone or you're stopping at the blue line. You're not getting good enough possession. Checkers like Deblois, Gainey, Carbonneau, they can do such an excellent job against these Oilers. But yet the Oilers have more talent overall. And when they get their full game going, it'll be that much tougher for the Canadiens.
Napier, Messier, and Anderson, the Oilers forward line. Here's Charlie Huddy going deep into the Montreal zone. Peters, Svoboda. To Mario Tremblay. Anderson took a run at Svoboda. Matt Naslund. A good move on Charlie Huddy to Tremblay. A shot. And Andy Mose makes the save.
Well, Moe certainly can't be faulted for the 3 goals that have been scored against him. We were talking about the Montreal Canadiens standing up the line. Watch them right here. They're going to go so far right there. You can see 1, 2, 3 of them right there. And then the puck has to be thrown back. Now, if you'd have thrown the puck forward, you'd have forced the Canadiens to turn around and go after it. Here's a long shot by Tremblay. Moe handles it very, very easily. He's in great control of himself. 1 goal scored on him on a breakaway, the other one on a little bit of a deflection. And then, I guess the second one also, when it went off, Mondu skate right back onto his stick.
Chris Nyland to Kerbers. Puck came outside the Oilers zone. Kerbers put it right on Curry's stick to Wayne Gretzky. Launched by Chelios. Into the corner for Krushelnyski. Now to Yari Curry, but it hopped over his stick. Chris Nyland for Montreal. To Bob Gainey. Gets away from Gretzky and just slides it in. Lee Fogelin. To Yari Curry. Nyland steals it. Carbonneau couldn't get the shot away. But keeps it in with fine effort. Moe down the boards for Gretzky. Kevin Lowe's pass hit Gainey. Chelios. Checked by Curry. Puck bounces into Sotard, who just tipped it into the corner. Curry to Krushelnyski. Gretzky in front. Tried to center it, but Kerbers was there. They battle for it in the corner. The puck squirted loose to Bob Gainey. Canadiens come out 3-on-2. Chris Chelios. Tied up by Lowe. Krushelnyski moving in, and they'll face off to the left of Andy Moe. Canadiens still in a 3-goal lead. 6:17 the time left in the second period. Just 1 goal in this second so far. That occurred at the 48-second mark. Pierre Mondu scoring his 16th of the season. Canadiens have stuck to their game plan, and it's working well so far. Oilers with 14 shots in tonight's hockey game. Don Jackson to Mark Messier. In on the right side for Pat Hughes. He almost had a chance. McClellan shot. Green drive. And Sotar got a piece of it. Brian Walter, a good hit on Mark Messier. Mark Hunter took a check from Don Jackson. McClellan was also there. The Oilers have sandwiched a couple of Canadians in this second period.
A line change for the Oilers. Mark Messier, Kevin McClellan playing along with Pat Hughes. So Glenn Sather not content sitting there. He wants to change the lineup, maybe get something going.
Hughes is offside as he beat the puck across the Montreal line.
This telecast is protected by copyright. It is intended solely for the non-commercial entertainment of our viewing audience. Any use, reproduction, or distribution in whole or in part of the pictures or descriptions herein contained without the express consent of Canadian Sports Network and ITV is strictly prohibited.
29-year-old Pat Hughes, he will turn 30 on March the 25th. Born in Calgary and will be in Calgary Tuesday night for the Flames and the Oilers.
Looking forward to that one, but before that, the Edmonton Oilers host the Los Angeles Kings on Friday night, and Sunday the Winnipeg Jets come in here, so 3 great Smythe matchups for the Oilers.
Ludwig failed to clear it, then kicks it to the corner. Semenko was parked in front, but the Oilers will have to get the puck. They couldn't. Canadians are 2-on-1. Smith with DeBlois. Smith shoots. Rebound. DeBlois took the shot wide. Oilers fortunate they're not down 4-0. Poppy trying to tie DeBlois up. Smith steals a backhand shot. Moe's just able to cover the short side. DeBlois has it again for Montreal. To Bobby Smith. Billy Carroll rides him off the puck and falls against Boisvert. Poppy trying to force the face-off, but big Bobby Smith still has it. Back to Rick Green, his shot, and a glove save by Andy Moe.
We'll be back next Tuesday night, March 5th, with more Oilers action on ITV. Our telecast crew heading south, down to Calgary's Olympic Saddle Dome as we feature a classic Smythe Division matchup. The Oilers and the Flames next Tuesday, a 7:30 start on ITV.
Well, the Flames, the Kings, and the Jets are involved in quite a playoff battle. Winnipeg winning again tonight, but Los Angeles hanging right in there, and the Flames will have to start playing some pretty good hockey. They might find themselves in 4th spot before too long.
Yes, the Oilers have a role to play here. They may determine who they're going to meet in the first round after this weekend.
Mark Napier takes it to center for the Oilers. 4:35 left in the second period. It's 3-0 Montreal. Anderson back for Fogelin at the point, but the pass was a little too hard, and Fogelin was turned the wrong way. Fogelin waiting. Kevin Lowe to Anderson. Now the regular line out there. Messier centering Anderson and Napier. Peters Svoboda. Napier knocks him down. Svoboda's had a tough time of it tonight.
161 pounds. That's all he weighs. 19 years of age.
Welcome to the NHL. Kotar put it on Anderson's stick in the corner, trying to center it. Hit the side of the net. Larry Robinson to Matt Naslund. Backhands it high and into the crowd.
Stay with us for the second intermission and a special report on Montreal rookie Peter Svoboda. That feature report plus much more following the second period.
Well, we were just talking about the Czechoslovakian rookie. Should be an interesting feature on Peter Svoboda. What do you think of his play, Dave?
You know, he handles the puck very well. He has good basic skills. He's got intelligence. You know, I think he could play well in this Edmonton system. He moves the puck very, very smartly.
Randy Gray goes back after it in the Oilers zone. Turns away from Nyland. Pat Hughes to Gretzky. Carbonneau right on top of him, and he shoots it in. Jackson to Dave Hunter. Gray couldn't handle that puck. It's kept in by the Canadiens. Carbonneau tried to get it in front to Bob Gainey, and the Oilers broke it up at the last instant. Gretzky. Stopped by Carbonneau. Back for Chris Nyland. Now to Gainey. Canadiens with some pressure. Kerber's a shot. Tipped by Carbonneau. The save by Moe. Oilers come out 3-on-3. Canadiens not getting trapped. Dave Hunter. Halted by Chelios. Here's Poppy's shot. Tipped just wide by Hughes. Gretzky looking for Hughes in front. He was all alone for an instant, but Gretzky couldn't get him the puck. Mondu to Tremblay. Dumps it in behind the net. Andy Moog up the boards for Dave Hunter. Now to Gretzky. Rink wide to Charlie Huddy by himself. The slap shot. That hit Rick Green. Matt Naslund with good speed as he hit that Oiler line in front for Mondu, and he couldn't get a stick on it. Mario Tremblay hooked Charlie Huddy, then put it on his stick in the Oilers zone. Krushelnyski, a fancy move at center. Still has the puck, but the Oilers were trapped offside. 2:17 left in the second. 3-0 Canadiens. Bruce Buchanan along with Dave Richardson from the Northlands Coliseum. 3-0 Canadians, and they're looking for more. Svoboda's shot was stopped by Andy Moog. McClellan to Charlie Huddy to Paul Coffey. Curry and Krushelnyski up front, along with Kevin McClellan, who's now at center, but Gretzky steps on the ice. McClellan on to take the faceoff. Coffey trots it along the boards for Gretzky. Shoots, scores!
You got to watch this replay, and we said the things that the Oilers have to do is get the puck in the zone. They shot it in that time, and the rebound come out. And they had to get the man moving in, which Coffey does. Paul Coffey moves in on the play. And the second thing, hit the late man coming into the slot. Watch Wayne Gretzky come in just a little bit late as the Montreal Canadiens have to take the white sweaters are there, and it's tough to watch the late man coming into the play. So three things that they did properly. They shot the puck in, it come back on a Coffey's stick, and they hit that late man coming into the play. And that goal could be a big change in this hockey game.
Gretzky robbed earlier, scores this time. His 62nd of the season from Paul Coffey at 18:15, and for Coffey, that's his 300th career assist.
There's no question about it that you got to have Coffey moving in on the play. He does it all year, and there's no reason for him not to do it tonight.
Mark Messier went off to the Oiler bench after shooting it in. Here's Gretzky to Glenn Anderson. Backhand shot, gloved by Stochard, who was deep in his net. He hangs on to the faceoff. Mark Messier is walking behind the Oiler bench. In fact, he may be on his way to the dressing room. I didn't see what happened, but he limped off right after he shot the puck in.
The rest of the Oilers on the bench are concerned as they're looking down the passageway as Stochard handled that backhand. On the last shot by the Oilers, you can see the Oilers standing up. Now they seem to be more in this hockey game. Just before the goal, they were all sitting quietly on the bench and almost just their heads down to say, you know, what are we going to do? Right now they want to get back into this hockey game, and they're up, and they're looking like they want to play hockey.
I think what they want right now is a penalty to some member of the Montreal Canadiens. Glenn Sather was standing on the bench. There you see the two captains, Gretzky and Gainey. Gretzky doing the talking.
Well, for the most part, it's been a cleanly played hockey game. 2 penalties to the Oilers, only 1 to Montreal, so Bill McCreary has not had a tough night of it. Gretzky relays the information from McCreary to Glenn Sather. Of course, Sather shook his head and thought of it otherwise.
Oilers haven't had a power play tonight. Craig Ludwig to Bob Gainey, 1:12 remaining in the second period, and it's 3-1 Montreal. Gretzky for Anderson. He was upended by Rick Green, and yelling for a penalty. Referee McCreary doesn't know. Gretzky to Anderson again, tried to center it, and the pass was just a little too far ahead for Napier. Here's Anderson looking for Gretzky. Carbonneau steals it. Carbonneau took an elbow from Anderson. Rick Green finally shoots it out for Montreal. Kevin Lowe drops it off to Lee Fogelin. Lowe has it again with 28 seconds remaining in the second period. Kevin Lowe. Watched by Mondu. Canadians look at the clock and backtrack towards their own zone. Fogelin to the line. Green clears it again. Kevin Lowe for the Oilers, shooting it in. Stochard stops it behind the net for Kerber. Semenko waiting along the boards for Gretzky in the corner, trying to move in front. He was checked by Pierre Mondu. 4 seconds in the period. Naslund to Mondu, one-on-one against Gregg, but time runs out in the second period.
Well, sitting up here, it's easy to be a coach and tell the Oilers what they have to do, but let's give a lot of credit to the Montreal Canadiens and Coach Jacques Lemaire. They have played a well-disciplined, well-thought-of game plan, and if they're successful in doing it in the third period, they will come out with something as an altercation takes place at the Montreal Canadiens bench. And I believe that Semenko is involved in there, and I think that they're after somebody who slashed Messier. Anyway, all the players are down there. Gretzky was over talking to referee Bill McCreary. And perhaps the Oilers are just trying to rile the Montreal Canadiens just a little bit. They've only been riled one time, and they had a goal scored against them. And maybe that will change the complexion as to the way things Montreal will play. There's Gainey right there being pushed by Anderson. John Jackson is in it. I did not see the Montreal player, Deblois, who had come to the aid of Gainey. I'm sure Gainey and Anderson will just hang. Now everybody's going to grab everybody, and it's going to be Wednesday night at the boxing matches.
This is not a good scene after what has been a relatively clean hockey game with only 3 minor penalties.
Kevin and Island is a big bout over here just near the end zone. You should see the two ushers just leap off the ice. That'll be the main event right there. Two big, strong guys. Nyland, 263 minutes on the season, and he's had 15 majors. He is a left-hander, so something that Kevin will have to watch out for. At this point, the linesmen are in the melee. I'm kind of interested in this one myself.
We have well, right now it looks like they're the only two that are ready to go. Deblois and Jackson wrestling, but here we go. Kevin McClellan and Chris Nyland.
See, Kevin's got his right hand tied up in the jersey. Nyland's left hand is free, and now he's got it loose. It's out of the jersey. And they will go at it pretty good from now. Look at the strength of Kevin. My goodness, I didn't believe he was that powerful.
Well, they're broken up by linesman Ryan Bozak. The referee McCreary is taking notes, but so far that's the only fight. But let's keep our eyes on Glenn Anderson and Bob Gainey.
Hopefully cooler heads will prevail here. You know the thing that can happen, Bruce, is that those sticks and the gloves around, and you step on one of those, you can go down and injure yourself, particularly with sharp skates around. Kevin is holding his hands up a la Rocky Balboa, indicating that he has won. Chris Nyland is going to take a little bit of the show also, telling him that, look, I haven't got a mark on me. In that kind of a hockey game where very little fisticuffs have taken place, perhaps a little frustration on the part of the Oilers, Bruce.
Well, it all resulted right at the end of this period
after the goal scored by Edmonton and Messier left the ice, so something had to happen that we did not catch. I must confess to you fans tuned into us.
Well, McClellan's already headed to the Oilers dressing room. There's Glenn Sather with his eye on things.
Now, if you were involved in an altercation like that, what would you do?
I'd be the first one in the dressing room.
No, I look for Matt Snappy. 5'7", and you grab the smallest guy, and you want to have a conversation with him. You saw Jacques Lemaire looking on. He will not be pleased with this. It all depends on what the penalties are. Certainly, if the Oilers lose a Gretzky or a Curry, that will hurt their chances of coming back from the score of 3-1 against them.
Well, Glenn Sather's got some words for some member of the Montreal Canadiens. We did not see what happened to Mark Messier, but I think that is what has started all this.
I believe so.
We will try and find out in the intermission and let you know as Messier went to the Oilers dressing room late in the second period.
Oh, I think it's all over now.
Well, that's nice to see because, as we said, it has been a pretty clean hockey game with only 3 minor penalties. Some good checking in tonight's hockey game, but certainly...
Did I not make the comment that the Montreal Canadiens were a class act? I hope they're not letting me down here. McCreary, that's Glenn. He's calling McCreary. You see him? You can see his... Glenn... Ever the competitor when he played, ever the competitor when he's coached. I don't think he would have his Oilers play any other way but on a competitive level.
Well, he wants a match penalty to somebody, we are informed. He's still letting referee McCreary have an earful. But the referee appears to be ignoring him, and finally...
The last thing Glenn said, how did you miss that call? Well, we missed it also, Glenn. We might confess if it took place out of the range. Great camera shot of Glenn.
Well, he's done with his tongue lashing. He's headed off to the dressing room. So have the respective teams. And from what I can see, there will probably only be, well, perhaps 4 penalties, but maybe only a couple of penalties to Nyland and McClellan. So the score after 2 periods, the Canadiens 3 and the Oilers 1.
And now the home hardware summary. 2 goals in the second period. Pierre Mondu scoring for Montreal. Wayne Gretzky scoring for the Oilers. 3-1. Montreal leading Edmonton.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the third period. Oilers scoring late on that goal by Gretzky, and then that minor bench-clearing incident to end the second period, Dave.
Right, and the Oilers come out on the short end because of Jackson instigating everything, a 2-minute high sticking, 10-minute misconduct, but they did not lose any big offensive hockey players.
Napier serving the 2-minute minor to Don Jackson, who also drew the 10-minute misconduct. Gretzky put it right on Naslin's stick. The Canadiens are 3-on-2. Naslin is checked by Yari Curry. Canadiens on the power play. They're 0 for 1 tonight. Good check by Kevin Lowe on Mario Tremblay. Chelios unable to keep it in at the point. Curry has the puck against Kerber. Stops and slides it behind the net. Sotard wasn't able to trap it. Kevin Lowe along the board. Back in behind the Montreal net. Kerber's checked by Gretzky. Here's Curry. Couldn't shoot, now does. And it went off Naslin to the corner. Behind the net for Gretzky, he couldn't pick it up. Lowe has the puck. Oilers with better pressure than the Canadiens. Here's Naslin racing away against Lee Fogelin. And Fogelin made a good defensive play. Mondu for Naslin, and Kevin Lowe stepped into Naslin. He may have been shaken up. No, he's all right. Here's Chelios. To Mondu. Temper flaring somewhat. Chelios across the Kerbers. Canadiens on the power play. His pass went off Tremblay. Curry ahead for Gretzky. Kerbers trying to catch him. Gretzky shoots, and Sotard just got his glove on that. 40 seconds and the minor penalty to Jackson. 3-1 Canadiens leading.
That's the second time tonight Dougie Sotard has rubbed Wayne Gretzky. The first time with his big stick, and that time with the catcher.
Kerbers to Chelios. He loses possession, and Dave Hunter banks it to the Canadiens' blue line. Svoboda, 18 seconds in the minor penalty. Smith lost it to Pat Hughes, and Svoboda goes back after it. Put it right in front. Sotard takes a look at Svoboda, says, "What are you doing?" There's Bobby Smith. Couldn't get anywhere at the Oiler line against Paul Coffey. I have a feeling this will be a spirited third period. Serge Boisvert just missed a check from Hunter. Smith in front for DeBlois. And that was broken up by Charlie Huddy. Oilers are back at full strength. Napier's on the ice. Coffey will try it again as the Canadiens make changes. Coffey still has it. Into Anderson, but Napier was offside. Live from Northlands Coliseum, this is your Molson Hockey Telecast. I'm Bruce Buchanan with Dave Richardson. It's the Oilers trailing the Montreal Canadiens 3-1. Play just underway in this third period. Ryan Walter in front for Mark Hunter, and Napier sends Messier away. Messier obviously recovering from the spear he took in the second period. Anderson walks it towards the net. It bounced over top. Canadiens failed to clear it. Messier goes to the side of the net after the puck. Fogelin keeps it in at the point to Napier. Now to Messier. Anderson's in front of the net. Napier to Anderson in the corner. Low cruising in. Took the shot just wide. And Rick Green backhands it out for Montreal.
The Canadiens again just very content in getting it out of the zone and regrouping. They changed all 5 players that time. The Oilers a little more aggressive in this period, and something they'll have to do to solve the Canadiens.
Chris Chelios finally knocks it away with his glove, and it's whistled down by a referee, McCreary. A tight checking hockey game. Canadiens have done quite a job in the Oilers.
Well, they looked at their tough players like Tremblay. He was involved in that fight at the end of the second period. Tremblay, as we mentioned, 23 goals in the season, 13 of those coming on the power play, and we're led to believe that he scored over 20 of his goals on the road. So that's a sign of a good hockey player when you can be effective away from your home building.
3 minutes, 27 seconds have been played in the third period. Canadiens 3, and the Oilers 1. The Oilers have lost only 3 games at home this season. One of those to the Montreal Canadiens, who lead the Adams division. Smith a long slap shot, and Moog got a skate on it. Appeared to have a bit of trouble with that shot. Chris Chelios, who played for the 1984 U.S. Olympic team, across for Kerbers, but Huddy has it for the Oilers. Paul Coffey to Billy Carroll, now to Charlie Huddy. Tips it ahead for Semenko. He just sends it into the corner. Sotard for Montreal, into the corner for Boisvert. Semenko trying to center it. It bounced over Lindstrom's stick, and Bobby Smith shoots it down the ice. Canadiens are well trained. Andy Moog directing traffic as the Canadiens make changes. Coffey for Lindstrom. He got spun around. Svoboda goes after it, touches it, and it's icing against the Oilers.
Well, we can look for a lot of icing cows for the Montreal Canadiens as we look at the veteran 33-year-old Willie Lindstrom, who still skates as well as when he first joined in the Professional Hockey League, coming here from Sweden. Played 6 years in the WHA for Winnipeg. Has tremendous hockey skills, and I think for a man of his ability, Bruce, he should have far more goals than he has on the year.
Face off to the right of Andy Moog. McPhee and Gainey scoring in the first period for Montreal. Mondew scoring early in the second. Wayne Gretzky with his 62nd of the season for the Oilers. Late in the second period. Canadians leading 3-1 with 15:45 remaining in the third period. Krushelnyski and Carbonneau facing off. Carbonneau winning the draw, but Svoboda couldn't keep it in. Here's Bob Gainey. Mike Krushelnyski takes a shot at the Canadiens captain, and we were led to believe that he was the one that speared Messier in the second. Krushelnyski couldn't knock down the high pass. Here's Gretzky, a backhand shot. That's blocked by Svoboda. Gretzky still fishing for it, but couldn't get it. Jari Kurri tracks it down to Gretzky behind the net. He hits Svoboda trying to center it. Kevin Lowe at the point. His shot, and Sotard got a piece of that. Kurri in the corner. To Gretzky's side of the net, trying to center it. That hits Svoboda. Robinson battles in the corner for it, and the puck comes all the way down inside the Oilers zone. Hoagland to Wayne Gretzky with Krushelnyski and Kurri up front. Lowe gets away from Hunter. He's upended, and the Canadiens, Hunter will go to the penalty box. It'll be the first time the Oilers have gone on the power play all night.
The second penalty for Hunter on the evening. A little too aggressive in his checking of Kevin Lowe that time. Something that the Oilers have to do. Get their defense involved in the play because the forwards are being checked heavily on the wings.
Puck goes right to Sotard off the face-off, and he'll hang on.
The power plays for the Edmonton Oilers, 4th overall, 24.1%. This, as you mentioned, Bruce, their first opportunity. Glenn Sather says this is the chance to get back in a hockey game. They're down 3-1, much the same as they were Saturday night against Washington.
Wayne Gretzky at the point position along with Coffey. It's Napier, Messier, and Anderson up front for the Oilers. Here's Anderson, shoots, saved by Sotard. And he hasn't been tested all that many times tonight, but he has made a few key saves. Napier was checked by Robinson. Gretzky waiting for it to Paul Coffey. Now for Napier. Robinson saw that coming, and the big defenseman pokes it down the ice.
That's been the story in this hockey game. Turnovers by the Oilers, forced by the Canadiens, but they've been giving up the puck too frequently in that offensive zone.
Messier into the corner for Napier. Back for Messier in the corner. Gretzky has it at the point. Off the boards for Messier. He and Robinson had a battle. And Canadiens are 2-on-1. But Napier got back. Good move by McPhee. And now the Oilers have a 3-on-2. Here's Anderson with Messier and Napier. Anderson turns at the line to Mark Messier. His pass hit McPhee, but Gretzky is there. He'll hang on to it to Coffey. A shot that went wide. Canadiens have a 2-on-1. Walter out of steam, however, and his pass went behind McPhee. Gretzky is back for the Oilers. Still has it. The Messier backhand shot over top of the net. Carbonneau slides it down the ice with 35 seconds and a penalty to Mark Hunter.
Fine job done by Montreal, getting the change that time, getting some new legs on there. But the Oilers just not consistent holding the puck in the zone. Having trouble getting it in over the blue line.
And there they are, offside again. You hit the nail on the head, dude.
Well, you know, you have to give a lot of credit to the Montreal Canadiens. I thought that they might have folded just a little bit after all the fighting at the end of the second period, but they're sticking with that game plan. Gainey, Carbonneau, Green, Big Ledwick on the defense, just standing up there taking the players on every opportunity. Lemaire has done a marvelous job tonight.
Canadiens on the first of a 4-game road trip. They'll be happy to know the Sabres lost tonight as the puck goes out of play. 11 seconds and the penalty to Mark Hunter.
I talked to Bob Gainey and I mentioned, where do you go from here? He says, you know, things don't get easier. We jump into Calgary on Friday night, and they know how well that the Calgary Flames can play. So they know when they come out west now, things are not as easy as they used to be, particularly in this tough Smythe division.
Mike Krushelnyski with 11 points in his last 8 hockey games.
Mike hasn't played that physical tonight, and I think if he's going to be effective with that line of Curry and Gretzky, he's got to take the man at every opportunity in the corners, win those battles along the board. That way, a Gretzky and a Curry can be free for the puck.
They battle for it off the face-off into the corner. Robinson to Chelios behind the net. Took a solid check from Charlie Huddy. Here's Paul Coffey. Has an assist, takes the shot. It was blocked by Robinson, and Guy Carbonneau has it. Gretzky takes it away from Carbonneau. The rink wide to Curry, now to Coffey. Canadians are back at full strength. Coffey at Carbonneau takes another shot, loose in front, and it was swept away by Sotard. Bob Gainey for Montreal. There's 3-on-2. He has Hunter and Carbonneau in front for Hunter. Couldn't get the shot away. Andy Moog was knocked right out of the crease by Paul Coffey. Here's Gretzky. There's 4 men across the line. Coffey shoots wide of the net. Mario Tremblay to Pierre Mondu. Takes the shot to Tremblay, and a stick save by Moog. Play going end-to-end now. Kevin McClelland is back on the ice after his fighting major with Chris Nyland. Ludwig knocked off the puck by Hughes. Krushelnyski to Kevin McClelland. Krushelnyski has it again. McClelland parked in the slot. Hoagland behind the net for Hughes. Ludwig off the boards and out. Canadians have been content to do that, and it will be an icing call. 11:41 remains in the third period. Canadians have a 2-goal lead. Kevin McClelland and Ryan Walter facing on to the left of Doug Sotard. 3-1, the Canadians leading. Pat Hughes knocks Svoboda off the puck.
Montreal come up with the loose puck once again. They've been doing it all night.
There's Ryan Walter's shot off Greg's stick. Kind of redirected, and Moog had to be alert. Hughes dropped it for Greg. McPhee intercepts in front for Hunter, and he put it right on Kevin Lowe's stick. Oilers are 3-on-2. Lowe coming up with Hunter and McClelland. Drop pass for Lowe. He was spun around by Hunter. Hughes on the backhand, right through the crease. Svoboda. McClelland had him lined up. I feel sorry for Svoboda. The Oilers have been taking runs at him all night.
But, you know, he's stayed right in there, and he's handled the puck just the same.
Craig in front for McClelland. Larry Robinson just sidestepped the check. Hunter runs into Svoboda. Kevin Lowe has it. In front, McClelland shoots, and it went off Robinson. High into the corner glass. Craig at the point. In behind the net for Hunter. Penalty coming up as McClelland was dumped. And the Canadians have their second straight penalty. It may have been frustration on that man's part, Peter Svoboda.
Well, I think Svoboda will get duped into this one by Kevin. He does trip him just a little bit, but Kevin goes down like he was wounded with a bullet in his back. As Svoboda kind of looked at the referee, Bill McCurry, and said, me, a big guy like that, knocking him over. Well, the Oilers on their last power play were not effective holding the puck in the zone. But conversely, the Montreal Canadiens did a marvelous job in keeping it away to the perimeter. I think they've got to direct more shots at goaltender Doug Sotard, and they've got to get somebody in front of that net, because the Canadian defense are not that physical, and they may not be able to take the man in front of the net as well.
Svoboda for interference at 9:26. Oilers 0 for 1 on the power play. Messier, Anderson, Gretzky up front, Curry, and Coffey at the point. Anderson, his pass hopped over Messier's stick. Gretzky tracks it down for Messier behind the net. Chelios for Montreal. Now Gretzky. Picked it loose for Messier. Carbonneau after it. Coffey put it right on Chelios' stick, and he fires it down the ice. Yari Curry. Watched by Carbonneau. Oilers' power play slow and developing, and Messier lost it to Bob Gainey. Chris Chelios to Guy Carbonneau. Now to Gainey. Coffey off the board. Puck rolling at center. Canadians wrap it right back in.
Canadians very content to not force the play. Just stay back, pick up the extra man, and once Coffey gets in there, he has trouble finding someone to pass it to. Again, an offside, because they just can't shoot the puck in the zone.
Well, the Oilers not sharp on the power play, but you have to give the Montreal Canadiens credit.
Exactly right. They have got a game plan at the earlier part of the hockey game, and they've stuck to it right to a T, except for maybe that one goal, and that was a little bit of a extra effort by Paul Coffey and Gretzky to score it. As we look at big Chris Chelios, 2 seasons at the University of Wisconsin. He was drafted by Montreal from the Moose Jaw Canucks to the Saskatchewan Junior League. Played in the Canada Cup tournament, the Olympics. What more can he do but play on a Stanley Cup winner?
Born in Chicago, a 200-pounder. 105 in the penalty to Svoboda. Paul Coffey at his own line now with Charlie Huddy, Krushelnyski, Curry, and Gretzky. The forward line for the Oilers is there on the power play. Haven't even had a shot yet. Curry in the corner. Back for Paul Coffey. Now to Charlie Huddy. To Gretzky in the corner. Looking for a man in front. Hanging on to it against Robinson. Makes the shot. Still has it. Krushelnyski side of the net. Here's Curry moving in. Sotar gets his arm on it and drags it into his body.
Be with us next Tuesday night, March 5th at 7:30 as the Oilers action returns to ITV. The Calgary Flames, battling for second place in the Smythe Division, host the Edmonton Oilers. Our telecast from the Saddle Dome, a 7:30 start Tuesday on ITV.
Well, Dave, you'll be with me that night in Calgary, and it's always a good hockey game when the Flames and the Oilers get together.
I understand they get pretty physical, as Sven Sather looks on. Oilers in the Flames in a battle tonight with the Islanders. 0-0, I believe.
Coffey shot and a stick save by Sotar. And wouldn't he love another victory here in his hometown tonight?
Well, we mentioned earlier in the telecast that Sotar played well against the Islanders, but not so well against the Winnipeg Jets as we look at the shot directed by Paul Coffey. But did you see nobody really in front of the net to cause any havoc with Sotar? Sotar also only in the 175-pound range, and he really can't take that physical pounding in front of the net. And I would think that the Oilers would do themselves a justice by getting somebody in there.
That goes just wide of the Canadiens' net. Gainey couldn't clear it. Coffey couldn't either. Carbonneau has a breakaway. Carbonneau shoots, and a good save by both. The rebound. Gainey couldn't get to it, but Gretzky trying to get back, knocked it in the net.
Well, I'm not sure who will get credit, but Carbonneau steals the puck at the blue line. A great stop by Andy Moog right there. Now watch the back-checking of Gretzky on Gainey. And Gainey, just the force of it, knocks the puck in over the line. A great play by 3 individuals. Firstly by Carbonneau, then the stop by goaltender Andy Moog, and the second effort by Bob Gainey right here, out-muscling Wayne Gretzky. That's right. That's the 3rd shorthanded goal for Gainey on the year. And that's the 2nd one of the evening, is it not?
Yes, it is. Well, Carbonneau did most of the work, and Gainey gets the goal at 17th at 11-13. That could be a backbreaker for the Oilers. It's now 4-1.
You noticed at the top of the show when I was talking about Gainey that his line has turned into a very offensive unit. I believe they've got 7 goals in the last 3 games, and all 3 of them being winners.
Krushelnyski trying to center it. Rick Green had no part of that. Huddy at the point. His shot off Naslund. Puck loose in the slot area. Curry goes into the corner against Ludwig. Svoboda for Montreal. Curry fighting for it along the boards. Gretzky in the corner. Unfortunate break for the Oilers. Gretzky trying to do a fine job back-checking, and he ends up knocking it in the net, more or less. Here's Krushelnyski. Gets away from Ludwig. Centers it for Curry, but Rick Green was there for Montreal. To Mario Tremblay. Off the boards for Naslund. Coffey races over and gets a piece of Naslund.
He's looking at Coffey as if to say, why me?
Gretzky hanging on to it. DeLoa, a shot saved by Sotar, a big rebound, but it was cleared by Tremblay. Vogelin to Gretzky off his stick. Naslund for the Canadiens. He just slides it down the ice. Will have enough momentum, and it's icing Montreal. You're watching the Oilers on ITV. Face off to the left of Sotar between Walter and McClellan, and you'd have to think the Canadiens have a pretty good grip on this game with a 3-goal lead the way they played, Dave.
Well, you're exactly right. They have not collapsed in any part of their hockey game. They've used the patience, they've used the discipline.
Walter, a slap shot, and the 6th save by Andy Moog. Canadiens have outshot the Oilers 31-23, and they lead it 4-1. Walter and Hunter got 6 up near center. Vogelin takes a hack at McPhee. Hunter behind the net, and Kevin McClelland has it for the Oilers. McClelland was knocked down. Shot went wide. Kevin Lowe has possession. 6:53 remaining, third period, 4-1 Montreal. Pat Hughes spins Kerbers around. Chelios around the boards for Serge Boisvert. To Bobby Smith in front, and it was tipped over top of the net by Boisvert. Dave Hunter to Pat Hughes. Messier on the ice along with Anderson. Messier couldn't get anywhere against Chelios. Lucien Deblois trying to split the defense. Back for Bobby Smith. Jackson has him tied up. And Mark Napier comes up with the loose puck. Oilers 3-on-3. Here's Mark Messier. Napier breaks for the front of the net. Messier shot. Rebound. Messier after it. Try to center it in front. Anderson. Back for Don Jackson. He and Bobby Smith. And the Canadiens start back. Smith is checked from behind by Glenn Anderson. Randy Gray to Mark Messier. 4 Canadians waiting at the line, and Napier is offside. Oilers frustrated as they trail it 4-1. 5:49 the time left. Charlie Huddy to Paul Coffey. 4-1 Canadians leading. Bob Gainey intercepts the pass from Charlie Huddy. Huddy back to get it behind his own net. Yari Curry will try his luck. Gretzky with the goal tonight for the Oilers. Coffey with the assist. Peters Svoboda. To Pierre Mondu, a backhand shot and a blocker save by Moog. Charlie Huddy. To Wayne Gretzky. Shoots it in wide of the Montreal net. High off the glass. Curry knocks it down. Charlie Huddy pinching in from the point, but Svoboda just shoots it out near center. Curry back to Paul Coffey. 4:50 the time left. Canadians lead by 3, and Bobby Smith got a breakaway. Fakes and shoots, and a good save by Andy Moog. Here's Matt Naslin to Bobby Smith. Centered for Tremblay off Moog's stick, and the Oilers come out. Once again, the Canadians are back. Wayne Gretzky turns. Now to Yari Curry. Gretzky trying to find skating room, not having much luck as Bobby Smith hands it off to McBee. Now to Mark Hunter. Off the boards in behind the Oiler net. McBee is in there first. Knocked down by Kevin Lowe. Billy Carroll was pushed off the puck by Hunter. He's trying to jam it in on the short side. Billy Carroll has it again. Brian Walter forechecking. He was upended by Carroll.
The Canadians have the Oilers frustrated in their own zone. They just can't get anything going, and all they're doing is forechecking one man and picking up the open man. They have nobody to pass the puck to, and when they do, they get an offside.
Dave Semenko in forechecking now for the Oilers. Kevin Lowe waiting at the point. For Carroll, Semenko goes after it in the far corner. Tom Kerbers for Montreal. Boisvert stopped at the Oilers line. Willie Lindstrom with Semenko. Lowe is coming up on the play as Lindstrom was pushed off the puck. Kevin Lowe hammered Kerbers. Boisvert with good speed. Shoots. Saved by Moe. Rebound Chelios, and that's picked away by Andy Moe. Lee Fogelin got his stick up on Chelios, and he'll get a penalty with 3:07 left. Lee Fogelin will go to the penalty box. Canadians on the power play. Well, Billy Carroll is the Oiler who gets the penalty. I thought it was going to Lee Fogelin. Perhaps the referee got things mixed up.
Good look at Jacques Lemaire telling his charges how he wants them to play on this power play. The Tremblay, Mondu, Naslin, that's the high-scoring trio that lead the Canadians in scoring. Naslin with 63 points, Tremblay 50, and Mondu 50. Mondu's got a point tonight, giving him 450 on his season, on his career, which makes him the 20th all-time Montreal Canadian. On the blue line, Green and Robinson.
Andy Moog has a new stick. He may need it. Robinson's shot drifts wide of the Oiler net. And Anderson comes out with Messier. Jackson also moving up. Oilers will be looking for a goal as they trail by 3. Anderson falls, and Larry Robinson brings it up the ice for Montreal. He dropped it back, and it came outside the Oilers' zone. Canadians won't be too concerned. 1:30 and the penalty to Billy Carroll.
Maybe the power play for Montreal, but they've got their 2 best defensive defensemen on the back, in Green and Robinson. They're content to play the clock down at 2:27 to go.
Rick Green to Matt Naslund. Now to Mario Tremblay. Back to Naslund. Behind the net for Mondeau. Tremblay was in front. Messier unable to clear it. Tremblay in the corner. Feeds it around the boards for Matt Naslund. To Robinson. Return pass to Naslund to Robinson over for Rick Green, but he was closer to center ice than he was the other point position. And Messier has the puck. Starting a rush for the Oilers. 1:56 left. To Jackson. Jackson loses possession. Now the Canadiens have a 2-on-1. Smith will Boisvert shoots, and he fired a wide. Don Jackson having all kinds of problems. Boisvert's shot was stopped by Andy Moog. He's been spectacular in the latter stages of this hockey game. Andy Moog, number 35.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens capitalizing on a giveaway by Jackson. They get 3 chances at Andy Moog. There's one by Boisvert after the backhand by Deblois on a nice feed out of the corner by Bobby Smith. The puck will be shot out of the zone. Boisvert, who was signed as a free agent, originally played his junior hockey for the Sherbrooke Casters.
Executive producer of the Oilers on ITV is Don Wallace. Tonight's telecast was produced by Steve Lansky. Directed by Ron Brown. Our technical coordinator, Dan McLean. And our coordinators, Ron Hildebrandt and Rhonda Kennedy. I'm Bruce Buchanan with Dave Richardson. 1:29 left third period. It's 4-1 Canadiens. Time running out in their power play. Just 15 seconds remaining in the penalty to Billy Carroll. Canadians not too concerned with scoring at this point. Just preventing it. Boisvert to Chelios. I've been impressed by Boisvert's speed.
He's the fastest of the Canadians. He lacks maybe a little bit of finesse around the net.
Gretzky to Yari Curry. He shoots. And Gretzky may have been in a better position. And Bobby Smith just slides it out to center. Canadian Deblois fanned as he tried to take a shot. Cheer went up from the fans as they announced less than a minute remaining. They haven't been impressed. There's a strange tear him off the glass on Gretzky's shot. E. Carbonneau dumps it out to center. Charlie Huddy knocking it down. Next action for the Oilers will be Friday night when the Los Angeles Kings will be here. And our next telecast on ITV is next Tuesday night. The Oilers and the Calgary Flames live from the Saddle Dome at 7:30. Nyland trying to set up Carbonneau. Paul Coffey has the puck. Out to Dave Hunter. Hunter to Pat Hughes. His shot and a pad save by Doug Sotard on that bad angle shot by Hughes. 12 seconds left. Few Canadian fans singing goodbye Oilers. We don't hear that very often at the Northlands Coliseum. Daney's shot is kicked aside by Andy Moog. Just 3 seconds left. Hunter takes the shot. Saved by Sotard. An impressive win by the Canadians.
Well, there's no question about it that they deserve full marks for their effort tonight. I don't think that the Montreal Canadiens can honestly say that they expected to play this well. They played a near-perfect hockey game except for the one goal that was scored, and that was because a lot of pressure by the Oilers on the one occasion.